Today's stretch session is a full body sequence, working kind of head to toe, a little bit of everything. It's a nice option just as a general warm-up or on a day when you just want to get your body moving. So we are going to be starting from stand, and we're going to be doing about 60 seconds per station, and you can just follow along with me. The first thing we are going to do is some neck rotation. So you're going to bring one ear to shoulder and gently roll to the opposite side. Now move as slow as you feel is needed. We're just going to gently press that ear towards shoulder, getting a nice stretch through our neck. And we'll switch it up in just a few seconds here. Good. And then we're going to go up and down. So you're going to think about bringing your chin to your chest and then slowly looking up to the sky just as far as you're comfortable. Think about moving kind of vertebrae by vertebrae. We're getting as much range through our neck as you feel comfortable with. Now if you go through the sequence again and wanted to do full neck rotation, that's totally fine. For right now, I'm just going to show you these two sequences, but you can certainly change up your direction if you would like. Good. Next thing we're going to do are some shoulder shrugs. So we're going to keep our elbows bent for this one, and we're going to start with some forward rotation. Now notice that the movement is coming from my shoulders. I'm trying to create as much range of motion in my shoulders as possible. So we're going nice and slow here. We're going to keep our elbows bent for today for this one, although there certainly are variations where we straighten out those arms. Move slow, see if you can get as much range as possible through those shoulder blades. Good, and then we're going to do the same thing backwards. So imagine that you're kind of drawing a circle with those shoulders. They're going to come up towards your ears, then pull back and away. Good, we have a few creaks and crunches. Maybe you need to do these a little bit more often. Good, we're going to do a few more here. Good. The next thing we're going to do is a sky reach to toe tap. So what you're going to do, you're going to stand with your feet wide or just outside of hip width. We're going to reach up to the sky. So you're going to reach your arms up and back. Now you're going to press your hips forward. You're only going to lean as far as you're comfortable. So we don't want to strain that lower back. If you're not comfortable reaching too far back, don't worry about that. You're just going to reach up and back as far as you're comfortable, and then reach your hands straight through your legs. So it's going to be a little sequence, up and back, and then down through your legs, stretching out those hamstrings and lower back. Again, we're going to do about 60 seconds here. Go at whatever pace feels good for you. And again, don't strain that lower back if you don't feel comfortable at the top. Think about it more like an upper reach if that's better for you. Nice work. A little bit longer here, then we'll switch it up. Good. Next up is our hip rotation. Same stance. You can put your hands on your hips or wherever you feel most comfortable. We're going to think about drawing a circle with our hips. So you're going to let your hips shift to one side and then forward, then to the other and around. So we're doing a nice big hip rotation. It's important to get various range of motion or ranges through our joints. If you're only moving your hips through one kind of hinge, lateral or forward back plane, you're probably missing an opportunity to build a more robust range. So move nice and slow. We're going to do about 15 more seconds on this side, and then we will switch directions. You might even feel a little bit of a hamstring stretch on the back, depending on how tight you are there. Good, and then let's switch directions, so opposite way. Nice work, try and get as much range in each direction as possible. Good, almost done. All right, we're onto the ground now. So we're gonna start with a little bit of wrist mobility. So fingers spread and fingers facing forward. We're just gonna do some gentle rocks forward and back, keeping those palms on the ground, elbows straight. We're gonna do about 20 seconds of 3 different wrist positions or finger positions here. If you wanted to, you could certainly go in small circles here, but I'm just going to demonstrate forward and back for right now. Good, next you're gonna take fingers facing away from each other, and you can either go side to side or in small circles. If you're gonna go in small circles, make sure you're getting both directions in. Again, try and keep those elbows straight, and you can play with the distance between your hands, depending on what feels good for you. And the last one is gonna be our forearm opener, fingers towards you. Again, elbows straight, palms to the ground, and you're leaning back, so bring your bum towards your heels. You can hold or kind of shift side to side. Just opening up those forearms and continuing to stretch out those wrists. Good. All right, from here we're gonna go into some cat-cows, working on some movement through your spine. You're gonna get situated on all fours, and we're gonna move through this extension, so this arch and rounding. So you're gonna think about the bum to the sky, shoulders back, looking up just slightly, and then pushing around, so pushing those shoulders away from the floor, tucking the hips under. And we're gonna go nice and slow here, so we have a minute of cat-cows. Go at whatever pace feels good for you. Thinking about the fact that our goal is to create as much range of motion in our spine as possible. So we're gonna move vertebrae by vertebrae here. Nice and slow. If you wanna hold a specific position a little bit longer, that's fine. Depending on where you feel tight, you might want more or less in a certain position. Good, we have a little over 10 seconds here. Good. Next, we're gonna go for some hip waves. You're gonna stay on the ground, your knees are gonna come out to the side, so just outside of your hips. The first position is just gonna be arms extended, so reaching those hands in front and letting just your spine kind of open up, letting that low back relax. And then from here, you're gonna think about shifting forward, so pulling yourself forward, letting your hips drop towards the floor. So only lower those hips as far as you feel comfortable. We don't want pinching in that lower back. So if you need to stay a little bit higher, that's fine. You're gonna find this nice stretch to the front of your hips, maybe your upper back and spine, and then you're gonna shift back to that start position. So we have about a minute here where we're just moving through each of these positions. Again, go at whatever pace or speed feels good for you. If you want to hold a certain position a little bit longer, you can. And try and breathe as best as possible. It's a good opportunity to work on slowing down your breath. Taking a nice deep inhale, a nice deep exhale as you go through the movements. We have about 20 seconds left here. Good, last one. All right, and our final movement is an A-frame with a reach. What you're going to do is get situated, hands under shoulders. You're gonna tuck your toes and lift your bum to the sky. Now, if you're more comfortable just holding a stretch where you're pressing your head through your shoulders and hanging out here, that's fine. But for what I'm going to show you as the other option is gonna be an alternating tap. So I'm gonna think about bringing my left hand to my right foot, and my right hand is gonna actively, or my right palm is gonna actively press into the floor, and I'm gonna look towards the right side. So I'm getting a nice stretch to my shoulder, but also my hamstrings. And then I'm gonna shift back and do the opposite hand, opposite foot, look through that shoulder, and alternate. So pick whichever variation you feel most comfortable with, either the hold or the reaches. We're going for our last 60 seconds here. If you have the hamstring mobility, you can certainly drop those heels to the ground for an added hamstring and calf stretch, but find what feels best for you. Make sure you're still breathing here. We have about 20 more seconds. Last one. Awesome job. So those are your stretches for today. I hope you're feeling good and ready to go for either your daily activities or the workout you're about to do. If you feel like you'd like to go through this again, feel free to rewind and restart and go through each of those stretches one more time.